Okay, I thought I'd do a little video based on four different things that have happened in my life that make me honestly question how the hell am I still alive? So, we're going to go back quite a few years, and the fourth one that honestly comes to mind is around 18 or 19, I think is how old I was at the time. I can't exactly remember which year it was. I had went to a drag strip with a couple friends of mine and a car that they had built up. It was an old, I think 77 or 78 Vega wagon that we put a beefy V8 in. And we decided we were going to shoot for a 200 mile an hour car. 200 miles an hour, let me just say, is fast. I seen a couple of them go down through the track, and I was like, well, might as well try it once just to see if we can do it. And fortunately, no, the car did not make 200. It made 182. It probably would have made the 200 had it not been for one little thing that happened when I was driving it. The U-joint in the drive shaft exploded, and it caused the drive shaft to bounce around, all that wonderful stuff. And then probably the only reason why I actually still have this right hand is because I'm fairly tall. I'm about 6'4", 6'5", give or take. And I always have to bring the seat way back. Well, in doing so, it put me at the skinnier section of the drive shaft, and when it came up into the floor, had I been sitting 6 inches closer in the car, I probably wouldn't have a hand left. I was just far enough back that I could keep my hand away from where the drive shaft came up through, and I'd have probably bled out before anybody had gotten to me. But like I said, and don't worry, I'm not going to try doing 200 miles an hour ever again, because at 182, I was crapping myself. I have no desire to go that fast again. Now, the third one, if you follow me on Twitter, and this one's always been fun, I was going to work one day, about 2002, 2003-ish. Just got done putting a motor inside a car that I was doing so that I had something to drive with the help of my stepfather and myself. And got going into town, and I could smell something that just wasn't right. Well, get to the light, and there's a lot of smoke coming from under the hood. Yeah, the car was on fire, but instead of doing the logical thing, which would be, get out of the car, I drove to work. Because I got thinking to myself, it's like, well, nobody's going to believe me that this car is on fire. If I call into work and say, hey, my car's on fire. Most places probably wouldn't buy that. So what I did is I drove it to work. I only worked about a mile and a half from where that light was. I get in, drive into the parking lot, park the car, shut it off, walk inside, and I grab the fire extinguisher, and I told my boss and a friend of mine that was working, I said, I need a hand getting my car put out. It's on fire in the parking lot. You might want to call the fire truck. Nobody believed me. They all had to walk outside to see my car on fire. Fun little fact, though, the story. I didn't have to pay for the fire department call. My boss paid for it because she didn't believe me. I love that idea. But yes, I've drove a car that was on fire, and another one that tried to kill me going faster than probably what it should have. Let's see here, the second one. I have to remember which one this is, because a lot of different stuff have happened. Broke my arm 3 times, that's nothing. Oh, another one that involves a car, go figure. I used to live in St. Pete after I got out of high school, and I decided to move back home and drive by myself back home with a car full of crap. All my stuff, I should say, but crap. You'll just call it crap, because crap's crap. Driving through, got through Georgia, uneventful. I don't remember anything beyond Georgia until I get to Ohio. I somehow drove through Tennessee and Kentucky with no recollection of it. I still protest this day that I was asleep. Sleeping is bad when you drive. But the number one, and it's not funny, and nobody should do this ever to anybody you know. And it's a little more serious, so again, please do not ever do this to people, because what happened, I honestly say that I should have probably bought a lottery ticket after it. Just after I graduated high school, me, my friend Nathaniel, and my other friend were sitting at my uncle's house. Well, my grandparents' house, but it was my uncle's room. And my friend Nathaniel decided to, well, I shouldn't say decided to, he's seen that there was a firearm sitting on the desk. And he jokingly picked it up, and I turned and looked right at him, and I said, dude, that gun's loaded. He's like, no, nobody ever leaves guns loaded. I'm like, I know that gun's loaded. It wasn't my gun, but I knew it was loaded. He pulls the trigger with the safety off. The gun did not go off. I told him, he's laughing at me, thinking, that there's no round in that chamber. I said, rack the gun. Mind you, he's got it pointed about 7-8 inches from my face, and I was staring right at the barrel of the gun. He pulls the slide back. Out pops the round. To this day, every time he sees me, he almost cries. Because had that round not misfired when it did, I'd have a big hole probably right about here. So, like I said, I laugh at it now. But in the moment, I didn't. Oh, there's one other thing he also says, is that you're not scared of death. And it's kind of always sat in the back of my mind, no, I'm not. I don't have that inertia, or that inkling of, oh no, my life's going to end. Even though it could have, it's just like I don't have that fear. I don't know if maybe something in my brain's not wired right. I've said, oh crap, I'm going to do this and die, jokingly. Like riding a snowmobile around the yard at about 40 to 50 miles an hour, and then realizing there's no brakes. But like I always say, I always joke around and say, holy crap, I probably should not be alive to this day because of those 4 things. But, hey, I laugh at it because nothing I can do about it. But let me know down in the comments below if you have anything. Also, wow, my eye watered. That was neat. Let me know if you've had anything like this happen to you. I'm also trying out a different camera. I'm trying out my Nikon Coolpix, which has a screen right off on that side there that flips out. So I can record these better. I do have my little square ring light that I had for my GoPro, which is right here. My little GoPro. I like that camera, but I like this one better because it's got the flip out screen. GoPro, if you're listening, flip out screen. Yes, if you put a little flip out screen on it, makes the world a lot easier to see. And yes, I know it's an action camera, but you can make other cameras. And if you can use the same, get out of my way, microphone. That's the only thing I don't like about this camera, is you can see the microphone, but at the same time, I look pretty good on this. I'm looking at the screen right now, which is bad because I should be looking here at the lens. See, that's lens. This little camera you could do a lot with if it just had a little LCD screen that flipped out to the side, or out to the side, or whichever side you wanted. But yeah, let me know, like I said, in the comments below, if you've had any type of experiences like this before, or know someone that has. Hey, I bet this is about an 8-minute video.